Hello, hello, and welcome to a kind of special random edition of the Illegal Pancakes podcast.
Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year, happy Chinese New Year, probably. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Has it happened yet?
Happy March.
Happy Tet. Happy not Easter.
Yeah. Oh, Happy Lent. Happy Lent.
Yeah, Happy Lent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyway, so this is something that I've kind of wanted to start doing again, just me and Robbie doing a podcast on stuff that isn't really related to a recent event or anything, just some random stuff we want to talk about, even though I guess some of this is sort of timely. So maybe disregard all that. I don't know. There's some stuff I wanted to talk about, and Robbie's here joining me.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. Hello, Rob. This would be awkward without you.
Yeah.
Yep. So how do we want to... Well, we'll just start with the biggest thing. I went and saw Avatar 2.
The Way of Wet. Remember that? Remember?
Oh yeah,
Quickness?
I forgot. Avadar 2, Way of Wet.
Yeah.
And wet
Sorry.
it most certainly is. So,
I
yeah.
feel like releasing a beach party movie in December was kind of a bad idea, but I suppose if you're in a different hemisphere.
For those of you too poor to travel, who want to see the tropics on another planet that doesn't actually exist, that's like 125% CGI. Avadar 2 is the way to go. So yeah, this is sort of a, I guess, spur of the moment thing for me. So I had nothing to do last Saturday evening, so I just decided, like, hey, you know what? I might actually see this because I don't think anyone else I know is going to see it in theaters. The place that was offering it was only offering it in 3D, and I don't think I've seen a 3D film in theaters before, so it's like, oh, that'd be neat to see it that way.
And I assume Avatar would be one of those movies that was made to be in 3D. Like, I don't think 3D is as big as it was, but for a long time they're just putting 3D on everything, and a lot of movies that weren't supposed to be 3D getting made in 3D it did not work.
Yeah. And yeah, I would say this one was definitely worth seeing in 3D. Also because this was kind of new to me, and anyone who hasn't seen a 3D movie before, some of the trailers are also in 3D, which is kind of neat. So I got to see the Super Mario Brothers movie, no, not that one, in 3D. It's kind of cool. Which, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking that movie might have a chance to destroy this one at the box office. I'm not 100% certain on that.
I'm not certain either, but it will definitely make golden cocaine money.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to have another chance to talk about this, but I really hope the Mario movie is just awful. Like, insultingly bad. And here's why, okay? I don't really have that much of a nostalgic connection to Mario. I didn't have any Nintendo consoles growing up. And I don't dislike Mario, but also I'm not one of those people. And the thing is that there's a bunch of people where Mario is like their dad. Like, people like look up to Mario, and it's so weird. And like, I know for a fact that if this is like the worst movie ever made, people are just going to come out and start making excuses for why they thought it was good. Like, it's been a long time since we've had like a whole bunch of like just what I want this to be is The Last Jedi. Like, The Last Jedi, not a great movie, but it was definitely an interesting time to be on the internet. Like, we need like, same with Batman versus Superman. That movie is trash, but if you get on the internet, there's so many people that are just like denying it and talking about how it's a masterpiece. Why are they saying that? Because they like Batman. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just think it would be so funny. I just want to see. I just want that to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think Illumination is dumb enough to make a movie that's going to insult people.
Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned it.
I
already mentioned it before, like, you know, it's the Super Mario Brothers movie, but not that one, you know, the one from the 90s, which that is level zero.
There's people on the internet defending that movie too, like...
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard people defend that from, like, the world like aspect of it, like, you know, the lore or whatever. And speaking of which, that's a good segment to go into, like Avatar, because that's the biggest praise that I hear for the film, that people are in love with the world that's created for this film. And of course, there's also the effects and stuff, which are objectively good for the most part. Maybe I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, some people say, oh yeah, I'm in love with this world. But my problem with it is that there's still a lot that isn't explained. They don't really do anything overly interesting with it for me in either film. And granted, it's been a long time since I've seen the first Avatar. But this one, kind of like, you know, having only seen it like less than a week ago, it's like, do I really want to watch this again anytime soon? Probably not. And a big part of that too is also it being a 3-hour film. But compare this to the Batman, which I saw last year, which is also like 3 hours or a little under that. That I was more tempted to watch again soon after, even though I ended up not actually doing that. But still, like, it's kind of the thought that counts. Like
if you're going to make a movie 3 hours long, you really need to make it worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. And the thing about this film is, like, if you just want the too long, didn't listen to, you know, my, like, what I've said about it so far or anything that I'm going to say, if there's one thing that you take away from it, it's that if you like the first film, you'll probably like this one. If you didn't like it, you're probably not going to like it. Or if you didn't like the first film, you're not going to like this one. It might, like if, in my case, if you see it in 3D, it might at least keep your attention either way, but I don't know. So, yeah.
Okay, I was curious what your opinion was, because when it came out, I heard a bunch of people talking about how cool it was. And I was like, I don't know. Well, actually, no, I already decided I wasn't going to watch it in theaters because I knew it was going to make a lot of money. And I'm still butthurt that Avatar is still, like, the highest grossing movie.
Yeah, it's not that it's...
And, like, here's the thing is I've actually heard a lot of people come out and defending the first movie recently. And typically what the defense is that if you shut your brain off, it's like a totally serviceable shut your brain off type of movie. But if it's 3 hours long... And if it's written in history as the highest grossing movie of all time, I kind of don't want to shut off my brain. Like, that, you know,
to me, makes it more the mark of a, you know, kind of middle of the road film. Yeah. Because there's good, like, possibility for you to take it whichever way you're going to. Like, if you're not going to like it, like, I don't know, don't really force yourself to. But if there's parts of it you do like, maybe there's... You'll see more from it. So yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's probably like maybe a slightly above average film. Cause like I said, the effects are pretty good. Except for like, there's this one part like 2 hours into the film. And I don't know if this is just a problem with the 3D version of the film or not, but like the frame rate and like I don't know, the graphics, like the CGI like takes a total dump. Like the frame rate's like sub 30. Like, well, subs like the normal amount. Like everything's moving really choppily. Like all the like textures for the blue people are like horrible looking. They look worse than PS2. It's messed up.
If Corridor Crew is listening to this, which I know you're not, please make a video called Avatar with Pop In. I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I was expecting it to pop in, but it didn't. It just eventually, you know, reverted back to how it was in the rest of the film at some arbitrary point. Yeah, that was weird. So, like I said, that could just be a problem with the 3D version of the film. Not 100% on that. It was just kind of weird. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I should also specify that the scene of the ugly Na'vi that I put in that Mandalorian video, that's not actually from Avatar 2. I said it was, but it's not. It's from the Avatar video game.
I was wondering about that. Yeah, the story, it's similar to the first one. There are differences to it. There's like, well, the main character from the first film has a family now of blue kids.
And aren't the blue kids, are they the main character?
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda, okay.
Yeah. Like, that actually is a good point. Like, the focus is a lot more on them than it is on the parents. Like, I forget her name, the mom. Like
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah, she's like barely in this movie. Like, it just seems that way. Like, most of it's like on the kids, like trying to adapt with like learn the ways of the sea people, the space Polynesians. But yeah, it's like the parents are like in it for a bit, like the dad more than the mom. So yeah, I don't know. And also,
if you had to give it,
go ahead.
If you had to give it a rating out of 10, I don't know if you're not done yet, you don't have.
Yeah, there is one big negative thing with the plot I might as well just mention. The sort of the MacGuffin that the humans are after is really, really stupid and seems like it's not cost efficient to go after at all. Would you want me to just spoil it for you, Rob?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there are these space whales, and they're very like sacred to the sea Na'vi people, and the humans hunt them to get this like extract from like a gland in their like head.
Their whale oil.
Yeah, no, it's not whale oil. It's just like this extract, like some sort of fluid from it. It's like they get like maybe less than a liter of it per whale, and that's all they take from it. And these are big old whales, and they got these big old airships and stuff. That's all they get. Like, the guy does say the price of it. Like, there's this crazy, like, Australian or South African guy that's, like, the sort of human villain for the film. And it's like, that's all? And you only took out one whale out of a pack of, like, 10. What's wrong with you? And then, yeah, they just leave the carcass. It's like, there's nothing else you can use from this space whale. What the hell's wrong with you people? It's like, I know when humans whaled on Earth, like, we use more than just like the blubber and the oil from it. Like, we did stuff with their bones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandpa used to always brag how he worked at a butcher shop, and when they butchered a cow, they used literally every piece of flesh of the cow. That there was literally nothing left except for like some of the blood that would spill on the floor.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, all the stuff that's useful. I mean, there is some stuff from certain animals that isn't useful, but yeah, that's like that's the pioneer way, and it's like they're just getting this like less than a liter fluid, like vial of fluid from one big old space whale. It's like, I don't know. So yeah, that was kind of stupid. And the main villain, the villain from the first film, returns in sort of a weird way.
That is so weird. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. Not my franchise. I don't get to make the rules, but I'm like, was anybody asking for him to come back? Like,
it must have been some contract thing, because like a lot of like the other actors and actresses from the first film come back, except the ones that, well, almost all of them come back that died in some way, either if it's in a flashback or some sort of like kind of quote unquote dream sequence or video recording.
Yeah. See, there's two things about this movie that, I don't know if I've said this before. I've always thought that Avatar would be way cooler as an anthology series where it's just every movie they go to a different planet and you can transform into a different alien. So I've always thought that would be a good direction, but that's not what they took it. But I was kind of excited because the trailers made it look like there wasn't going to be any humans in this one. And I think that would be kind of cool too if it was just like, just aliens, but they didn't do that either, which is too bad.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It's just like there's not really like good diversity among the humans. Like, they're all just like straight up bad for the most part, or like overly sympathetic to the Na'vi. There's like no middle ground or anything like that. Or, I don't know. It's like, yeah. But I don't know, that's part of me is just like not, like that's something I'd like to like have explained more. Like, there is a bit of that in this movie. They're like, oh, the Earth is dying, so we need resources from other places. But, oh, that's the other dumb thing about the space whale gland oil. It doesn't really have like its purpose is more or less pharmaceutical. Like it's like reverses aging pretty much, or delays it. So it doesn't like, it's not like a form of energy. It's not like a material you can use to build stuff or process other material. It's like a pharmaceutical thing. It's like that seems like, yeah. The more I think about it, the more I kind of was like, maybe that is a really, really dumb plot point. I don't know.
Okay.
But like,
if you had to give this movie a score out of 10, what would you give it?
Like I said, it's like, for me, probably 5.5. So slightly above average.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably a good movie to some, a horrible one to others. I just don't really care that much.
Mm-hmm.
It was nice to see it in 3D. That's all I'll say. But there will probably be some people. Well, I don't know how many people are going to see this video. Just let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Like, really, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might see it again eventually, but I don't want to anytime soon.
Yeah.
I saw The Wild Bunch for the first time the day after. I enjoyed that movie far more. 9 out of 10. Or maybe 8.5 out of 10. Alright. So more on to, like, I don't know, stuff that I'm actually more interested in talking about. One kind of small thing that I wasn't going to have on this podcast, I decided to last minute, is the game Isonzo got its, had a recent update, the Piave update. So got a new map, Germans versus the Italians, which is nice because I think up until now, like, there was only one map where the German army appeared. So mostly, like all the others, it's, Italians and Austro-Hungarians. So not good variety, but they're working towards that a bit more. 2 new pistols. Kind of neat. A new Italian one, a new German one. And a bunch of, bug fixes and other updates like that. Haven't checked it out yet, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. I remember there being a lot of rain in the first German map. I did not like it that much. It was cool being able to play as Germans, but I don't know. It was a weird map. This one might be nice. It doesn't look like there's a castle on a hill in it.
Hey, there you go.
I don't know if you're one side has to push towards that. That would be pretty cool though. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Sweet. And we have one last actual piece of news.
Yeah, it's 3. But they all revolve around the game Axis and Allies, or I should say the series, Axis and Allies. So, kind of a recent thing from the past year is that the game company Renegade Game Studios got the license from Hasbro to not only reprint previous version or previous Axis and Allies games, but also create new ones. Kind of going into the first part of that, they opened pre-orders for the main games in the series now. 1941, Spring 1942, Pacific 40, and Europe 40. They also opened up a limited pre-order for the World War I version of the game, 1914, which is still open now. I think that's only going to be open until August.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you've been following that game online on eBay like I have, it's a no-brainer to pre-order it because it's going for only $100 from them, and on eBay it goes for 3 or 4 times that usually. Maybe it might start dropping now that the pre-order's out and the market's going to be flooded, but I don't know. So that's kind of neat. Then yesterday they had their Renegade Studio or Renegade Games virtual convention thing. It was a live stream. They announced that they were doing a neoprene mat for the global 1940 game, which for those of you who don't know, if you take Europe 1940 and Pacific 1940. You can create a big map with it and have a weekend-destroying global version of the game to play. It's pretty cool. And now you can get a 7-foot map. Again, similar to the 1914, this is going to be a limited pre-order. I don't think they're going to be selling it on their site after they stop taking pre-orders for it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think it just depends on how well the pre-orders go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add to that, Robbie? I didn't mean to cut you off.
I'm just trying to imagine a mouse that would fit on one of those. A computer mouse.
It would have,
because neoprene mats are basically just like
like
computer mouse pads.
Pretty much. Yeah, it'd have to be like a 4-foot long mouse.
Yeah.
I don't even want to imagine how much that would weigh.
Imagine that if that was the future, where instead of using mice with our hands, you just sit on one and you have to pedal it around with your legs and click with your feet.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate gamer setup, so that way you can have both hands on the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of the funny thing about the mat, a complaint you'll hear about pretty much every Axis and Allies game is that the map is too small in places. Certain territories are too small.
Mm-hmm.
And you even hear that complaint about the global game, which is kind of funny because that map, the standard map that, is huge. Even if you just take one of the halves from one of the 1940 games, those things are big. But like a 7-foot map, I don't know how tall it is actually, but you got to have a dedicated table for that cats can't get to. Probably not dogs either.
Does the global version, does it come with those little sticks that you use to move? You see in war movies when they're doing plans on a big table, how they have those sticks that they move the little miniatures around on. Does it come with those?
No, it doesn't. You'd have to provide.
I feel like you'd need. Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be bad to put those on that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's something you have to make on your own. That's funny though. It is sometimes annoying to try to pick up those pieces.
Yeah.
Yep. So I pre-ordered that already, along with 1914. I'm awaiting those, which won't be coming for a while. If you do pre-order the other stock standard games, I think those are coming in May. But I think you can get them for cheaper elsewhere and get them much sooner. Because really the only difference is with the stock games is that there's it's an updated rule book with errata and stuff, but you can get a PDF on that online from Renegade Games. So maybe if you don't have any of those games, pick them up there, or if you can't find them anywhere else. But like I said, I was able to find most of them for cheaper than MSRP, certainly cheaper for what they're offering them for on Renegade in the past year. So yeah, just shop around a bit.
Yeah.
All right. But the big piece of news that came out, and it was supposed to be announced on the live stream last night, but they waited until today for some reason. I don't know why, but it was more or less a community survey poll thing to decide the next new Axis and Allies game that was going to be made.
And guess which one won?
Well,
the Snyder Cut.
Yes, it was the Snyder Cut. It was the Snyder Cut. The hidden choice. Yep.
It wasn't hacked by bots.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, kind of in all seriousness, so it was between Stalingrad, Eastern Front, North Africa, and Operation Market Garden. And the winner ended up being North Africa.
Yeah.
It
was North Africa, huh?
Yep.
Dang. I'm actually a little upset. I figured it was going to be Stalingrad by a landslide, and I was kind of excited for that one. But
yeah,
North Africa. I mean, North Africa's still cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I voted for Stalingrad because, to be honest, of the one-off battle and kind of campaign-oriented Axis and Allies games that they've done so far, pretty much all of them have involved the U.S. in some way. There hasn't been an Eastern Front one yet. It's like there was D-Day, there was Battle of the Bulge, and there was Guadalcanal. It's like those are like all involve the U.S. or Great Britain. And North Africa, well, that's the U.S., Great Britain. I think the Anzac versus Italy and the Germans. So, like, I was like, maybe depending on, like, for all of them, it's like, depending on how they do it, like, I would be fine with any of these picks, but my first two choices would have been, Stalingrad and Eastern Front.
Yeah. It'd be kind of cool to see if they did Iwo Jima as well. I don't know how you would translate that into a board game, but...
Yeah, with Guadalcanal, they made it into more of the Solomon Islands campaign, so there was a naval aspect to it, which was kind of neat.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet, cool. But yeah. But yeah, it's like kind of the problem I had with this poll is they didn't really give any ideas as to what they were going to do with each of these games.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, two of these are like more or less just like straight up battles, even though they lasted several months in the case of Stalingrad. And then the other two are like longer campaigns.
Yeah. In case somebody doesn't know, like the Battle of the Bulge and like D-Day versions, they're not regular Axis and Allies games. Like it's similar, but they have different rules.
Yeah. That's another thing that I want to get into too. Because like, I'm thinking about doing a follow-up video to this, which I'll probably have in like the next week or so. Kind of explaining what I would want to see from these games. Probably with more of a focus on North Africa, because that's definitely getting made. But, like, that's kind of the problem that the other games have. They're not as similar to the main global games. Like, the combat in Battle of the Bulge and Guadalcanal is, like, very different. Like, Battle of the Bulge is, like, it has some of the craziest freaking combat in it. Like, it's so far removed from regular Axis and Allies. It's like, what were they thinking? And then, like, Guadalcanal's almost similar, but it's like, it uses this weird little cardboard box that you put the dice into. The battle box. Trademark. That I still don't understand how it like works, mainly because I haven't actually tried to sit down and play the game or teach it to anybody. But D-Day, on the other hand, like it's pretty much the same, like combat's pretty much very similar to how it is in the standard game, aside from, I don't know, like air combat's different. It's because it's not really combat. It's more or less a phase in each turn or in like a round or whatever. But yeah, so that's something I'd like to see from all of them, like just combat that's much more similar to the main game.
And I feel like with North Africa, you could literally just keep it with the same rules pretty much, just have the map be zoomed in of North Africa and Italy and stuff, and then just...
With more territories, of course.
Yeah, obviously with more territories, but you could just keep it just the base rules.
Yeah, for sure. And then like have a reinforcement system maybe more similar to the main game, but maybe not have it be based around like how would you do that? Like not based around like having factories and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they kind of did something like that in Guadalcanal, which seems kind of neat. It was based like you get a set amount like regardless of like what territories you have, but for each additional like island you control, you get another amount. But the dumb thing about that one is your like your reinforcement points don't like carry over to the next round, so you can't like save them up or anything. So something that's maybe similar to that would be neat for all these games. But I don't know, probably Stalingrad and Market Garden would use like an order of battle probably. Yeah. And another thing too, like maybe this probably wouldn't work as much for Market Garden, but it would for North Africa, Eastern Front, and well, maybe not Stalingrad, but having more than just 2 players.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the appeals of the main game. You can get up to like 5 people. Or 6 if you're playing like, I don't know, the global version or Europe. Which is really neat. Like it's That's kind of what separates Axis and Allies from like other like more, I don't know, in-depth war games. It's much more like, it's lighter. Let's just say that. And you can have more people. It makes it easier to teach the game, I would think. You can kind of do a group thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can focus on only one front, you know, or focus on less fronts. So yeah, like I'm definitely probably going to do a follow-up video in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be fun to do. But yeah, that's really all I had.
Yep.
You have anything else to add, Robbie?
I wish I did.
Shameless plug for your Mandalorian video.
Yeah, I made a funny Mandalorian video. You should watch it. I worked really hard on it.
Yeah.
And well, it's interesting. I worked really hard on it, but it was also way easier to make than those stupid Clone Wars videos. Which might be a good sign for this channel, because the main reason why I don't make a lot of videos in that style is because that freaking second Clone Wars video took me months to make, you know, and
yeah,
you know, like, I guess you could make the argument that this video took months to make. I mean, I wrote the script in January and I did all the editing in February, but it's a video I had planned for a long time. I even remember it was like in the 2020 podcast I talk about making that video. So like a lot of the ideas and jokes and stuff I had planned years in the past, and I kind of just never assumed I would make this video, but I have a lighter workload this semester, so I was like, hey, this is the last chance I'm going to get to make this video. And what makes it even better is that all of my friends told me I haven't seen the new episode of The Mandalorian, but I've heard that it was not good. Everyone I've talked to said they weren't too satisfied with it, so yeah. I feel like I should make a follow-up video to it once Season 3 is finished, but I don't know if I will. I don't know if I care enough. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I care enough. It'd be interesting. For some reason, the marketing of Season 3 kind of made me think that they would fix a lot of the problems that Season 1 and 2 have, which is, you know, the point of marketing is to trick people like me into watching it. But if this one flops and like it turns out like this is like the worst season, then I don't even know. Because there's like other videos that I kind of want to make. Like I really want to make one about why I hate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see.
Why I'm going to hate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I don't know if I will hate Volume 3. I probably will. I will say that. But I don't know. It's just that people are all like going on right now, like, oh, all the Marvel movies are bad now. They used to be so good. I'm like, no. I don't care what anybody says. Volume 2 sucks. I don't like it. It's not the worst movie ever made. It's probably better than Morbius. But if I had the chance to watch Morbius or Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I would easily choose Morbius. Easily. What
if both films were in 3D? Would you rather watch Morbius in 3D? Because
probably not. Morbius would probably kill it. Morbius has some of the most stupid special effects I've ever seen, so that movie might kill you in 3D.
All right. I will stay far away then.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. You know what? I was actually considering seeing Cocaine Bear instead of Avatar 2.
I feel like Cocaine... I don't know. I felt like Cocaine Bear could go either two ways. It could have been a really fun movie, or it could have just been a movie that funniest thing about it is the name, or just the concept.
Yeah.
But I've heard the Winnie the Pooh movie is just unwatchable, so it won't be the worst bear horror movie that comes out this year.
The Winnie the Pooh movie?
Wait, did you not hear about that?
Oh, that Blood and Honey one?
Yeah, the Blood and Honey one.
I thought I told you about that.
Yeah, I think you were the one that told me about it. So
did you actually watch it?
No, but from reviews I've seen online, they're like, this is literally just a movie that was crapped out to make money just based off the concept.
Yeah, well, to take advantage of Winnie the Pooh coming and going into the public domain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, well, this is a good way to end.
Yep.
Random way to end a sort of random, not very well planned podcast thing.
Yep.
Dang, this is longer than I thought it would be.
Yep. Yeah. All right, take care, everybody.
Yep.
Stay safe. Keep away from cocaine bears.
Yep. Unless you have a 44 Magnum.
Yep.
Or more cocaine, I don't know.